So you're logging into RuneScape one day when all of a sudden you notice that you've only got 15 days of your RuneScape membership left. You then realise you don't have any money and your mum isn't going to be dishing out fivers every month for you to get your RuneScape fix. Well, since Jagex introduced bonds, players can now pay for their RuneScape membership with RuneScape Gold. Damn! But the question is, what is the most consistent moneymaker in order to get your hand on a bond as quick as possible? Now, this isn't going to be the most efficient guide in the world, nor is it going to be the worst.
This is great banter. It really is.
However, hopefully you'll be able to see what the most consistent moneymakers are on RuneScape and how long it'll take for you to get your bond via these methods. So the first method we're going to go over here, lads, are the renowned Skeletal wyverns. They're very popular, especially on the weekends, but they can net you around 700k GP per hour. In terms of requirements, you're looking at 72 Slayer, an Elemental Shield or a DFS, and also an alright combat level. The pros of this method are the chance of you getting a Visage, which can turn you from wearing your Torag plate body straight into that Bando's chest plate, boys. Only issue here is though, is that it's an absolute clusterfuck, as I said, especially on weekends, or as Skepta once famously said, there are too many man. So as you can see on screen now, this is the total loot from just one trip. It took me about 25 minutes, and in total I think it comes out to about 350k. So yeah, really not too bad at all. Another Slayer monster which is great for money are Gargoyles. Now this is estimated slightly higher GP an hour than Wyverns at 750k. However, it is noted to take into account the fact that it does require a higher Slayer level of 75. You'll also need a Rock Hammer to finish off the Gargoyles and also a decent combat level. Pros include, well, it's just easier to kill than Wyverns, which is always good. Cons, the Rock Hammer is annoying as fuck to use, unless obviously you've unlocked the Slave reward to automatically swing the Rock Hammer, but even still they are quite annoying. If you take note from the gameplay as well, in the background you can see people in full Guthans, which is also a good option, as that improves how good it is for AFK and etc, etc. Notable drops include Mystic, G-Mauls, Rune, etc, etc, so they are a really good consistent moneymaker. Moving on to a consistent moneymaker for you skillers out there, the third method we're going to look at are stringing longbows. When I tested this out myself, it worked out around 230k GP an hour, which really isn't too bad for a skill, and also you got to take into account that you're going to be earning XP while you're doing this. It'd be about 150 to 160k fletching XP. The great thing is that it's very AFK and has a fairly low requirement, but it can get very boring and repetitive and doesn't come near any of the methods we've come across so far in terms of GP per hour. Again, another Slayer monster, but it seems as though the best consistent moneymakers which aren't reliant on RNG seem to be the Slayer monsters. During testing I was getting around 600k GP an hour at Dust Devils and only require 65 Slayer to kill. You also need a face mask and also a decent combat level. I think what makes these so good to kill are the low requirements, however they don't really compare to some of the higher level Slayer monsters which you can kill for cash. The main notable drops include Dragon Daggers, Mystic Ballstaffs which are something like 30k each, and also a lot of Chaos Runes. I think they drop around 80 per time, so yeah, really not too bad at all. Farming ranarrs is another great source of money whilst you're doing other things on RuneScape. I've listed the estimated GP an hour as NA, but that's purely just because it's really hard to measure. It seems as though ranarrs are the most profitable form of herb farming currently, and you're only required to have 32 farming to plant them, which is also really good. Having unlocked the Trollheim patch is also beneficial, as that can reap you another couple of herbs per run. I worked out it was about 50 to 60k GP profit per run, and bearing in mind this is based on the average amount of herbs you can get with patches dying as well, so you could actually get more profit. The pros of this are it only takes 5 minutes. The herb patches work on 80-minute growth cycles, so you can bang one of these out every hour and a half, so that's a decent amount of extra money in your back pocket. Cons, it's annoying as fuck to keep up, and also you can forget quite easily to do them, but it's just something you've got to remind yourself to do. So here's the overall ranking of each method I've gone over in this video, with the time in hours it takes to get a bond from doing the methods. As you can see, Gargoyles are on top, taking just over 3 hours of camping to get yourself a bond. It looks as though the majority of the Slayer monsters are pretty superior to a lot of the other methods, but I think that is down to my fault, just for not improving on like the amount of variety which I put in the video. Farming is also listed as 60 hours and is based on 80-minute growth cycles, so yeah, that's something you should be doing in between other moneymakers, not just solely on its own. I know I've not included every single consistent moneymaker out there, but I thought these were the most prolific and pretty much the ones which suited the video the best. If you really can't be off spending 3 hours getting yourself a bond, then you know you might have a nice friend out there who's willing to give you one. or not. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, lads. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below if you'd like to see a free to play version, and yeah, that's it. Nice one, lads. See you later.